What's up, everybody? I'm back. I got my book ready this time. I'm not usually the type of person to write in margins, but I've been starting to write in margins. So, at least in this book. I'm rereading it for a third or fourth time or something like that. The first time I read it all the way through from cover to cover. Every page, every word, and I paid very close attention. I'm forgetful. So I read over it a second time, but not like cover to cover, every page, every word. Like the specific parts, I can skim read pretty well. So I would go for the important stuff. First, what I want to do is again thank Sahuko31 for his response. Excuse me, I'm tired. Oh, it's been about a half hour since since I finished my other video at 8:31 when I got tired. It's 9 o'clock now. Excuse me. I turned more lights on to keep more awake. Anyway, I'm going to go over what he said, and then I'm going to take a crack at it, and then hopefully this won't take very long, and then I can jump into what I want to jump into, because this is supposed to be me attacking evolution, and he's getting in my way. So, I'm just playing. Again, thank you, dude. I really hope you stay plugged into my videos and keep me an honest man. So he said, we talked about the nylon bug thing. Okay. I mentioned in my last video I was going to bring up why I don't think the nylon bug is used as an argument. I'm actually going to do that later. I'm not going to do that now because it's going to take me a while. I'll probably do a whole video dedicated to the nylon bug. I'm not saying that it's not a mutation. I'm not saying that it's not a positive mutation. I think the way I best describe it is my argument that I used or my question that I proposed at first was a bad question. It was really a loaded question. I apologize for that. A better question would not have been, are there any positive mutations? Because it is true that there are some mutations that have positive effects to them. As far as the nylon bug bacteria or whatever goes, yep, it can eat nylon. That's great. Without nylon, it would die. So everything has its ups and downs. But I will agree this is positive. This is a positive. What it doesn't do is the thing that I probably should have asked for. So, I hope you're watching this video. What I'd ask for instead, but thank you so much for supplying what you did, is a mutation that could, or does, or did, lead to speciation. Like, change of species. And don't go giving me any of these like tiny things where we have this because Phoenix, one of his videos is 2 salamander species that can't breed with each other. I don't really consider that speciation, to be completely honest with you, because they're still salamanders. They look the same. Yeah, their colors are different, and they have a different diet. It's not even significantly different. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of the fact they can't mate with each other, I think that's just like a very small scale kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know how to put it. I don't have any research into this. But you didn't get anything new. You've got a salamander. They're the same size, for crying out loud. So, I don't want to see anything like, because I've seen that before where, ooh, well, they can't breed. So? They look the same. That doesn't, I'm not asking for a leap from, amphibians to reptiles or whichever way that is. I'm not asking for that, but I'm asking for something reputable that says this is how this would have happened, and I will look into it. So that's what I'm asking for. Something that could produce a new species, significantly. Sickle cell anemia, best thing I can say is I can't call it a positive. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Yes, even in a malaria-filled environment, yes, you don't die of malaria, but sickle cell still kills you. Maybe not directly. Sometimes it does, because it causes seizures. I said strokes before, I didn't mean strokes, but it's like a stroke. It's a seizure that can kill you. Rarely does, but can. And it causes so many problems, it shortens your lifespan. My sources ballpark around 45 years old. It's bad. It's bad. Bad, bad, bad. Kill people. Not good. So, I'm glad you want to give it the thumbs up. I'd say atheists or evolutionists. Sorry, don't let me get away with that. Call me on that one. evolutionists need to stop using that as a positive mutation. It isn't. It's bad. It kills people. It inhibits people. It causes a lot of problems. It's bad. There's no way you can turn that into a positive. Yes, malaria doesn't kill you, but sickle cell does. You're not getting out of this unscathed. So, sorry, but I'm calling that one out. You can call it back in. I'm going to call it back out. Where else did we talk about? Oh, the DNA gene you talked about in Langer monkeys. Gene has a gene duplication that works better. I didn't search it. Sorry. I will, probably. I'm not making any promises. And it's not that I'm afraid of it. I got so much more to cover. So, I'm sorry. I will probably look into that, though. You talked about Paluxy Finds. I looked into that. Misinterpretations I'd call. Hoaxes I won't call that. It's an misinterpretation, but those are real prints. Those are real prints. People just called bad things on them. So I'll give you that one. That's a good call, too. Fossil record. Basically, my statement is as follows. You can't prove that thing even had kids. So when people try and use the fossil record, yeah, I mean, most creationists are not going to be like, well, you can't use that. Like, it's kind of a default, to be honest with you. It's a scare or it's a scared tactic I've seen used, and I just like it because it's funny. It's basically to say, well, you can't even prove that thing had kids, so you're stupid. You know, it's a good point. You can't prove that thing had kids. So I'm not going to use that as an argument, but you can't prove it had kids. So that's I wouldn't call it a refutation. Those are my comments. What I'm here to do today, screw it. Oh, here's my pen. I have a pen. It's a nice pen, too. This is a good pen. Get these pens. Ballpoint, I think. Very nice. Anyway, back to this. I'm tackling radiometric dating tonight. Whatever. Basically, my argument is as follows, and I like the way that Milton put this. I had to check, make sure I got his name right. Is he talks about isotope dating. Most common one is lead. Is lead-206 from uranium-238. Used to date rocks. The half-life, 4.5 billion years. That's a lot, and I want to know how they calculated that. I'm not calling that into scrutiny. I'm just curious as to how you figured that out. I think I have an idea. But basically, the argument is as follows, is that lead becomes 206, radiogenic lead, or lead-206, and lead-207 come from uranium. So both of them do. So it has its own problems, and lead-208 comes from thorium. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. There's a process called, and I had it marked, but I can't find it in my own. Excuse me. It's called a neutron capture, which increases the count of the lead. It happens. Okay? So, my big issue is when people try and date a lot of the rocks, the problem is you have to go with a sample that you can prove has not been tampered with. But you can't with this. With lead, there's so many issues, because considering where this happens, and I'm actually going to go into this more in another video because I've got like a minute left, because I can only do 10-minute videos. Is considering where it is, it takes one to go from 206 to 207. It takes another neutron to go from 207 to 208. So it varies. And people and scientists try and use that to date the rocks, and they get all these crazy numbers, and they count them. And I don't understand. I don't get it. So I'm calling this one out. My next video, which I'm going to make now, which will be the second part of this video, I will talk about just how this process goes about happening and why I'm calling it into scrutiny and why Milton does. Because the whole... I believe that I will be willing to give that millions and billions of years could produce some pretty cool stuff of what I've seen. But I'm saying that you don't have that kind of time. So even on the grounds that millions and billions of years could probably do some pretty cool stuff. I don't think it could give us everything we got. It definitely couldn't have brought us into existence, but it would have done some cool stuff. I am saying that you guys don't have that long anyway. So I'm calling this one under scrutiny, and I'm already over my 10 minute. I really hope this uploads. But thank you. Following video will cover. Yeah, I'm not even going to say peace because next video. Peace, whatever.